Hello, I am Honor, and I am here with Mr. Crow for an interview about movies. Specifically, since it's October, horror movies. So I got a couple questions for you, Mr. Crow. Um, the first one is, what's your favorite scary movie?
Well, give me the mic. Thank you, and I must say it's an honor to speak to you. Oh man, I'm practicing for the talent show. Gotta rack up my puns. Uh, Favorite scary movie? I have to say it's my least favorite genre. I know. I'm being honest. I'm being honest.
That's fine.
When I was about your age, I watched The Shining for the first time by Stanley Kubrick, and it has always stuck with me. And I revisit it about once every 2 years, and so I think The Shining is probably my favorite scary movie. And then if I had to pick a few others, um, Silence of the Lambs, some people put it into a horror genre, but I think it's more of a thriller with the FBI investigation and looking into trying to find the serial killer before he kills again, kind of a thing. So I think it's more police thriller than it is horror film. But those would probably be my top two scary movies. And Jaws, I think, is very scary. Uh, yeah, and it made. I don't like being in any body of water where I can't see my feet. There could be broken glass, dead body, scuba diver with a knife, all kinds of horrifying. I don't know. So in real life, if it's not a swimming pool or a hot tub, I wade into rivers fishing because I fish, but I like water skiing and anything. No, nope, hate it. But there's my three.
Another question. Did you ever get scared from a horror movie?
Yes. When I was younger than your age, I stupidly watched films I should not have watched, like Halloween and Friday the 13th, and then uh, really bad horror films that I can't remember the names of, that in the VHS section of Hollywood Video or Blockbuster they had. I used to work at Hollywood Video, renting out VHS tapes back in the day. And they had a horror section and we got free movies. So I would sometimes just grab a random horror movie and they were awful. It's like they were all shot one or two takes only, really low budget. But they were effective. They were really scary. And Evil Dead series was really scary. But what I did is I just assumed that someone out there knew that I was watching a horror movie in the house by myself right now and that they were going to come in and attack me during the movie. And so they got a little bit too much into my head. And so I started watching other types of films.
I can relate, to be honest. Now, uh, third question. Uh, so the same one. Worst horror movie.
Okay. I don't know if it's a horror movie, but I'm just going to say it is. And this might be controversial because there's a lot of people who love this movie. Anaconda with John Voight.
Never seen it.
Don't. Terrible movie. Hated it. Uh, and it's a cult classic with some people. They love it. Worst movie. Hated it. We'll never see it again.
Well, it's okay for you to explain why in some ways.
Okay. There's some people who think that Voight's over the top performance was genius, and I remember Siskel and Ebert when they were reviewing the film, they said, why couldn't this be nominated for an Academy Award?" And I thought it was laughably bad. So I know there's this whole, everybody has their own taste and their own impression.
Please, people,
And
don't enter an uprising.
and for
Please.
me, it did not work at all. I thought his acting was horrible, and he's a great actor. I think he won an Academy Award for Coming Home, 1976, I want to say. I hated that film. I loved his acting in Ray Donovan, the TV series. He was brilliant, but I just hate that movie. I saw it after dinner one night in the theater, and maybe I had a bad meal. Maybe I should give it another chance, but I don't really care to.
Yeah, people, please don't flame this man in like a comment section if this uploaded to YouTube. Everyone has their own opinion, all right?
That's why there's 31 flavors of ice cream. Man. Some people like vanilla. And
Exactly.
Some people like butternut pecan or whatever.
Exactly. We all don't have to like the same thing.
That's right.
All right. I think this is the final question or something. I kind of want to ask some other ones, but
You can ask something else if there's one on there that's repetitive.
um, the best horror movie in your opinion?
Is that different than scary movie?
It's
Like-
from worst.
So best, earlier I said The Shining. If I were to separate scary from horror, when I saw Scream in the theater for the first time, I want to say it was 1996 release date.
It was.
Yeah. I thought that was great, especially the opening 10-minute sequence with Drew Barrymore was its own little film, and the popcorn on the stovetop kind of mirrors the intensity of the scene, and when he breaks in, it explodes, and I thought that was great. And then the whole rest of the film worked for me because they're almost poking fun at horror movies while they're living out a horror movie. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I watched it.
So I like that. And also the whole aspect of isolation for that opening 10-minute sequence with they'd never make it in time. We're out in the middle of nowhere. That was like, that's good. I've always thought, you want to live out in the middle of nowhere because it's a luxury, but it's also very dangerous. And if you need help right away, you might not get it in time. So I thought it was great that they included that. And I really liked Scream with Courtney Cox and Nev Campbell and everyone else who was in that movie whose names I forget.
Yeah, and what's funny is that this question list, what's your favorite scary movie, is also a reference to Scream.
Oh.
Dad, from the beginning.
Okay.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Yeah. Oh, yes. And I like, now that we're back in that first 10 minutes, I like that, the voice. Oh, sorry. I like the voice of whoever is, later it's those two guys who are working together, and he holds up.
And the other guy.
Yeah. He holds up the voice modulator thing. But there's an actor who did that voice with Drew Barrymore on the other end of the phone, and I thought, wow, that's a great voice for that part.
Who was the other guy that played?
Matthew Lillard?
Yeah, the guy who played Shaggy in the new
Yes.
Scooby-Doo.
Yes. And, there's one other actor in there whose name I'm forgetting. The guy who is her boyfriend, Nev Campbell's boyfriend.
Billy Loomis.
Yeah, I think that is it. Anyway, yeah, that was a good one. I can't really think of any other good ones because, as I said at the beginning, it's my least favorite genre. But I will say, Quiet Place. I thought it was very good. Wouldn't quite put it into horror film. It's almost a family movie in that you see what these parents are willing to do to keep their children safe, no matter what. It almost felt like a love story in that regard, but definitely scary. Scary, not horror, in my opinion. Too many jump scares, though. Didn't like it, but I love the music, and I loved John Krasinski's directing. Yeah, it was a good movie. Ooh. Quick side note, the guy who composed the music for Scream and the guy who composed the music for A Quiet Place, same dude. Marco Beltrami. He also did the music for the 2017 game that was very popular. Not Minecraft, but Fortnite.
Fortnite?
Yeah,
Really?
Marco Beltrami, same dude.
I didn't realize.
He also did the movie for a movie that won Best Feature Documentary, Free Solo, about Alex Honnold's ascent of El Capitan in Yosemite. Yeah, there's some fun little trivia for you. That's about it.
Oh, and I got one more question about it strays away from horror movies. What is your favorite disaster movie?
Ooh. Man. So, disaster. I could go broad and just I could say Titanic, very well made in my opinion, and that was a disaster, right? Also, the Battle of Gallipoli was a disaster, so Gallipoli could be some Australian troops. Could be a disaster movie. Um, Man, when you first asked it, there was one other one I was thinking of that just left my brain all of a sudden. And we're not editing this, so I just have to sit here looking like an idiot.
That's the one
Disaster.
I told you about earlier.
Disaster.
You forgot.
I'll say Twister, not my favorite disaster movies. It seemed like for a stretch there were a whole bunch of weather-related disaster films.
It sure seemed like it, because
But-
there wasn't really much about like earthquakes, volcanoes, and tsunamis. There wasn't really much about
Yeah.
that.
Maybe for disaster, my brain just went to. I'm thinking of it now. It was Saving Private Ryan. Just some of the battle sequences where, especially the opening, the Omaha, the first wave of soldiers onto Omaha Beach, where they had something like a 90% fatality rate, and seeing the way Spielberg shot that was just shocking.
Steven Spielberg?
Spielberg did Saving Private Ryan, yeah, and Janusz Kaminski did the cinematography, and they did the desaturated stripping of the film, changed the color of it. It was beautiful, but also horrifying, and it was that. It's weird because it was a disaster as far as the loss of life, but it was also it ended up being successful. Normandy, but there were 3,000 soldiers lost that one day, so
Rest in peace.
that's what I was thinking of when I thought disaster. My brain just went to Operation Market Garden and A Bridge Too Far, which was a good film about a disastrous military operation. So was Gallipoli. All right, I feel like I'm rambling.
Yeah, I think.
Do you have a favorite disaster film?
We'll go into questions with me. I think my all-time favorite was Dante's Peak, the one with Pierce Brosnan and Linda Hamilton.
I love Pierce Brosnan. So good.
Sorry,
Was that a disaster film?
Yeah, it's about a volcano here in the Cascades that goes off and destroys an entire town. Oh my god, the special effects is so good. Because I remember watching and just seeing, like, it's inspired by Mount St. Helens.
I did not know that.
And, here's a little trivia. And I remember the ending with the pyroclastic flow. It just comes down the mountain, and it's like a nuclear bomb going off, just destroying after building, until you get a glimpse of it. The entire top of the mountain looks just like Mount St. Helens. And fun fact, the creator, what's his name? Roger Donaldson, I think that's his name. He used to be a geologist, or he used to be in geology classes, and he was going to be one, but then he opted to go with filmmaking. So the movie was technically his first time being back into geology, which is really fun because honestly, I'm a big geology fan. I look at every volcano update, and plus I have like so many damn videos of Mount St. Helens. And
If you love geology, I just have to ask: Have you seen The Shawshank Redemption?
no, I haven't.
Okay,
I
all right.
will.
The protagonist, Andy Dufresne, loves geology, and that's all I'm going to say right now because, yeah, exactly. His love of geology is one of several important things in the film, but I'll stop right there. So, speaking of stopping, are we done? Should we stop this interview?
I mean, I have a couple more about disasters since we
It depends if you want.
I do. I want to have a couple more minutes talking to this.
Okay.
He's,
All right.
he's nice, honestly.
I might not have much more to say about disaster films, though. So,
What was your first time? This is another disaster one. What is the first disaster movie you've ever seen?
ooh, I don't know. That's a good question. unfortunately, I just don't know what I'd say. I don't know if you're going to edit this or not, but I don't know what I would say as far as disaster film. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Wow. I would sit here thinking for a minute on film, and that would be awkward. So, any other questions?
This is a comparison to two other movies. What would you think is much better in terms of like action and like horror and type of other stuff like that? Is Terminator 1 versus Terminator 2?
Terminator 1, loved the concept. Terminator 2, the concept was still there, but the execution was much better. And I loved the several aspects. One is was it the T-800? Schwarzenegger? He was trying to kill Sarah Connor in the first one, and he's protecting her in the second one. So I loved that ironic shift. And then the T-1000 was amazing. Awesome. And the upgrade, and trying to fight against a clearly superior villain was fantastic. Loved it. I loved the whole film. I saw it in the theater when it came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm old.
My grandma did the same thing. The only thing I remember from Terminator 2 was the nuke. The only thing I remember from Terminator 2 was the nuclear bomb scene. Yeah. That scene is so horrifying.
Yeah, post-apocalyptic. It's interesting to think about what would happen, and also if the T-1000 can come back, and do they just have an infinite loop of times they're going to just come back and try to kill Sarah Connor or whatever? Great movie. I also saw Star Wars, the first one, when it first came out in the theater, and E.T. and Raiders of the Lost Ark, and those are all Spielberg films. But yeah, my favorite. I'm switching. I'm just answering a question that wasn't asked, but I just thought I'd share. My favorite thing about going to the movies was when my mom would take me to a movie and say, "I'm not telling you anything about this on purpose. We're just gonna go watch a movie and let the director tell you the story." I love that. And one of those was another Spielberg film that's much lesser known called Always, with Richard Dreyfuss and John Goodman and Holly Hunter. And the first, I'm going to do a spoiler.
Don't spoil.
Or maybe, no, I won't. The first 25 minutes, you think the movie is about this. And about 25 minutes in, Spielberg just goes, "Erch," and you just think it's plain as day that the movie's about this. And then something happens that completely changes the trajectory of the rest of the film. And I love that, because I don't know what they did for the trailers for that movie, but I think even a trailer may have ruined it. But just going with my mom to the movies and knowing nothing about it, it worked. And sometimes I wonder if that's how films should be experienced, so the director can tell you a story in a certain order with no expectations, nothing. You just go in blind. I love that. That's my favorite way to go see a show.
One more I just want to add to about I think movies. I think the only downside with going to the movies is that once a movie comes out, everyone posts about it on the internet, so it just spoils you.
Yeah, and we didn't have the internet. I didn't get my first email address until I was a junior in college. So, really? Yeah, so we didn't have that same problem, and there was a Academy Award nominated film back in the late 80s. I'm blocking on the name right now, but it had a very big secret about 80% of the way through. And I'm thinking of two, actually. Both got nominated for Best Picture. But the secret was well kept. And because audience members experienced the twist, and then they're like, "Oh, I don't want to ruin it for someone else." And they kept a lid on it pretty well. And the other one I'm thinking of that I do remember the title is The Sixth Sense. Have you seen it? With Bruce Willis. Great twist that I went and saw it early in the theaters, and pretty much people kept a lid on it for about a month, before it really started leaking out there. It was great, so that people could go experience the twist and not have it spoiled. And then another film which I also think was 96, was The Usual Suspects. Great twist. My wife and I saw that on a Saturday night, last showing. And then after the film, we talked about it the whole way home. And then Sunday morning, first showing, we went and watched it again. We're like, how did we miss that? It's like, you want to go again? You're like, I want to go again. So we went again. And to see, how did we miss it? What were the clues? And that was a lot of fun.
The last question, are the scariest movies about the nuclear weaponry, or just like regular war movies with none of that?
For me, it's war movies or just terrible things that could happen to an everyday person. You know, that to me is scarier than Jason Voorhees with a hockey mask or whatever and walking hurriedly towards you. It's like, you just keep walking, I'll run and I'll get away further, I think. I don't know. Right, yeah. And then you go in a straight line away from him running. He's walking, and then somehow he comes out from the tree. Come on. Or you fall down, of course. But there's a lot of dramas to me about things that could happen in your life. Two that I've shown in Film Lit are Cool Hand Luke and A River Runs Through It, which are not scary movies, but they contain elements of adults who are on a downward spiral, who refuse any help. They need help, but they refuse any help from their family members and friends who are trying to help them. And they're engaging in incredibly self-defeating behavior. And it ends in disaster for those characters. And it's like, that's a scary thing to watch. Is like, if I don't have a 6-year-old daughter anymore. I did when she was 6. But if she's going to run out in the street and I just grab her and prevent her from getting hit by a car, you can do that with a child. With an adult who is engaging in dangerous behaviors with drugs or alcohol, or gambling with the wrong people, or picking fights with people, and it's like, yeah, and you confront them, or you have, what's it called when you get a bunch of people together and try to help someone? A therapy group, or intervention is the word I was thinking of. You can try that, but
It's not gonna really
the question that's raised in both films, and no one has a good answer for it, which is scary to me. And you're talking about scary films. How do you help someone who's on a self-destructive path who refuses help? That's a tough question to answer in real life. So that's the scariest thing for me, is that kind of situation.
Okay. I promise this is the last one. Okay, but speaking of like realism, this is about Disney movies.
Now you're talking.
Would you consider The Hunchback of Notre Dame one of Disney's scariest and most realistic movies? I've been wanting to ask that for a while.
Wow. Here's going to be the big letdown. I don't remember the last time I saw that film, so I don't have even the plot of it fresh in my brain. I'm sorry. I could talk about Finding Nemo or Beauty and the Beast.
I can give you one quick thing.
Okay.
So the plot of it is that the villain Claude Frollo kills the Quasimodo's mother, so he takes him in after being told that
Wait. There's a Disney film with a parent dying? Get out of here.
Yeah,
Get out. I don't believe it.
It's in. And so he takes him in, like 20 years later. It's the Festival of Fools, which is like a circus type of stuff. A Quasimodo, which is a boy's name, which means half-formed, because he's a hunchback. Mm-hmm. He goes down. Apparently, he gets in trouble by Frollo after, which is the judge. He in the book, he's an archdeacon, but he's a judge. And there's the Romani girl, Esmeralda, that escapes, hides in the cathedral. Quasimodo frees her. Frollo starts singing about her, about lusting over her. And then he goes on a complete genocide. That's kind of reminiscent about what Adolf Hitler was doing back in the 40s. It's horrifying. And
I'll
then
have to revisit this film.
Yeah, and then towards the end, well, I won't really spoil it at the end. But the quick rundown is that, there's a the question of the movie is what is the man and the monster? That's the question of the movie. But but it's considered the most realistic movie. So
Interesting. Well, I'll revisit it. I don't want to speak about it because I haven't watched it since I was probably 6 years old or something. I don't
watch
even
it.
know.
It's a
Okay.
It's a dang good movie.
Will do.
It's
And
the
that the
best.
question of man or animal and looking at the humanity behind someone who's deformed, there's an excellent film you should check out called The Elephant Man. Bradley Cooper recently reprised it on Broadway. But it's an excellent film. Very well done. Black and white, if my memory serves. I think the entire thing. But
I'm talking about the type of.
but The Elephant Man is a great story.
In the movie, Frollo is apparently the definition of realistic villains because in the movie I just said he literally Esmeralda's 20 and he's like in his like 60s or something. Yeah, he's lusting over her, and that lust turns into a genocide where he burns, like I would say like 70% of Paris just to find her.
Wow.
And he's a racist. He's a racist too. He persecutes Romanis all because he thinks they're heathens and like their way of life isn't correct to him. It's kind of like it's almost like how speaking from political things, kind of like how Donald Trump views with Mexicans and other type of races too. It's almost like that. And with the ICE raids in the movie, it's similar.
Was the villain's motivation fueled by jealousy? You said something about a lust-filled jealousy.
No, so basically in the movie, he saw Esmeralda doing like a mock-up at Disney's version, like a mock-up like dance, a certain suggestive dance.
Okay.
And the movie, it's inappropriate, but somehow it got a G rating, and so he starts a lust. Sorry. He starts lusting over her, all because he saw that, and he even sniffs her hair, like in a creepy way. It's so screwed up, and
this is the villain.
this is the villain.
This is the
He's a man.
Gaston
He's
parallel.
he's worse than Gaston. He's worse than Governor Ratcliffe from Pocahontas. And
So my question though is he jealous?
no, he's not jealous.
Okay.
He only wants her for his
Okay.
that type.
Yeah, this is a school, so
Yeah, and
I value my
it's
employment.
much worse in the book because Esmeralda's 16.
okay.
So it's a screwed up movie.
Now I don't really want to watch it. But
Watch it though. It's a good one. And it's a good one, and plus Quasimodo's adorable. I'm gonna be honest. He's an innocent soul. Protect him at all costs.
all right.
It's a good movie. Thank you for your time.
You bet.
for
You're
this.
welcome. I always love talking about movies.
Yeah.